let's make some noise for your 2025 Ascender. Took an island for the mansion. Drop the roof, no expansion. Driving IMG won the toss, but has elected to defer to the second half, so Specially Fit will receive the ball to open the game. Referee tonight, Greg Hagopian. The umpire, Rich Blaming on Rio. The head linesman, Jeff Lee.
Beautiful skies and bright lights here at IMG Academy Stadium as the stage is set for the SSIA State Football Championship as the IMG Academy Junior National Ascenders look to secure their third straight title against Specially Fit Academy. Alongside my broadcast partner, Norris Thomas, my name is Ryan Sudol. And Norris, 2 years ago, the IMG Junior National team, at that time, the varsity program, played the same Specially Fit team in their first SSIA State Championship game, won 42-0, a convincing win against Zarephath last week, and now they're looking to, again, go for their third straight state title. Again, emotions got to be high for the Ascenders tonight.
Absolutely. It's definitely something special to play for a championship. Never mind, this is your third one in a row, so to have that opportunity. But it'll be interesting to see how Specially Fit comes into the game tonight. 2 years ago, as you said before, they dropped this championship game. So it'll be interesting to see the adjustments that they've made and the growth in their program. But as you know, IMG looking to remain a juggernaut at this level going into tonight's game, and I think we're going to see pretty dominant performance.
And the only mutual opponent that both these teams had was the team that IMG beat last week in the state semifinal against Zarephath Academy. IMG beat them 48-16. Specially Fit beat them 22-6 a little earlier in the year, so not sure how much of a barometer that will play, but IMG won the toss. They're going to defer to the second half, and we'll see how Zarephath comes out. They will defend the south end zone. Wind blowing a little bit into the face of Specially Fit here in the first quarter, but we are 48 minutes away from seeing who will be the SSIA state champion. And it will just be over the end zone line, and that will be an automatic touchback per the FHSAA rules. So Specially Fit will start from their own 20-yard line.
Well, here's the thing. I think, from a standpoint of if you want to just keep it simple, say some programs say, let's make chicken. So we just want to stop the run, not so much worry about the pass. Let's stop the run. Let's play stout defense up front. We'll see how the Ascenders look up front from here. Pretty equally matched up front from a standpoint of the offense for Specially Fit. We're going to come out with balance set there, single back.
And again, two of the defensive captains, Bryce Johnston at linebacker, Perrin Bareka on D-line. Again, it is a very stout defensive line running in between the tackles of any IMG Academy football program. A tough task. They are able to chunk out about 6 yards there on their first play.
Three Spencer, that's a load coming out. Class of 2027, so he's still got another year. Comes again.
And that is a large running back in Tyrese Spencer, also listed as a defensive lineman. And you can see by his size, Norris, why they do that. And it looks like Specially Fit is going to come out in no-huddle offense to try to keep IMG on their heels. They move the chains.
Well, it looks like right now IMG is sitting in a cover, too, so they're going to have to take away those edges, and quarters are going to have to come up and play force if they come back with that same run. But they're going to ride the back of Spencer here. Right up the middle, just nothing fancy, just right off tackle, and just trying to impose their will early on in this ball game.
John Angelo, the quarterback, Spencer, the running back, and they will continue to go to that well. This time he has stood up at the line of scrimmage, but is able to fight forward for a couple more yards. And again, he is listed on the roster, Norris, as a defensive lineman as well, but if he's going to be the load back, he is going to be gassed by the fourth quarter.
Well, you want to hope so, but I can tell you this. There's a little bit of a chill in the air, so they're going to have to be really defense is going to have to tighten up so they can stop Frosty the Snowman, because it's a little chilly out there tonight. A good little gust coming off of the Gulf tonight.
70 degrees here in Bradenton. 3rd and 5, an opportunity.
So much for a chill in here.
Well, for us Floridians, it's a little chilly. And just a quick stoppage of play. Angelo awaits the call on 3rd and 5. Gut check time for the Ascender defense. He'll send Jackson in motion, firing across the middle. It's tipped and incomplete, 4th and 5, and we'll see if they want to take a chance early in the game and leave the offense on the field, or if they're going to bring out their punting unit, which it looks like Angelo will retreat to the sideline And IMG, not quite a 3-and-out, but they are able to prevent them from getting into a center territory.
Well, if you did notice, Spencer did head to the sideline for that last, so they already ran out of gas, at least for that drive. Angelo was a little hot on that throw. Got his feet set, but I don't think the receiver was ready for it, and probably could have just taken a little bit off of that, give it a touch. But great job for the defense starting out.
So 4th and 5, specially fit, will get called for a delay of game. That will be the first penalty of the game. It'll cost them 5 yards. And will hopefully give the Ascenders some slightly better starting field position. Of course, shy of any trickeration from the specially fit Rams. Coming out of Dover, Florida. Just about an hour or so away from where we are here in Bradenton. Snap is back. This one kind of corkscrewing at the 30. It'll take a specially fit bounce out.
At about the 20, 29, right at the 30.
And they will spot it down at the 30. So 1st and 10 for IMG Academy, and it will be the freshman quarterback Nolan Downs.
Well, good to see him get some good run in these past couple of weeks. He's been pretty poised throughout these playoffs, and tonight will have to be no different. Let's see how IMG comes out and see if they can impose their will on the front line. Got to win in the trenches. A night like tonight, championship football, you've got to be able to run the football.
And it is Nolan Downs, his heels at the 25-yard lines. They'll send Dino Delacus in motion. A little bit of a jet sweep trying to find that edge. Gets a little bit of space, maybe back up to the original line of scrimmage. It looks like they are going to spot him down just shy for a loss of 2.
It's a great idea trying to kind of test the edges a little bit. Wasn't able to make that corner there. So good job on especially Fitz corners coming up and forcing that back. And you're really going to need to be able to run up the middle in order to test this defense a little better. It looks like they got some good speed on the outside, and as long as those corners are coming up and playing tough, they're sitting in a cover 2 also.
And the handoff to Sennett, looking for some space up the middle. He'll get back to the original line of scrimmage. Maybe a gain of 1 for Savian, Alty, and Sennett. And IMG now looking at a 3rd and long. They will not get back into the huddle. They'll just try the no huddle. See if they can catch specially fit napping. A hard count does not draw them offside. 15 seconds on the play clock. As Downs awaits the snap, Sennett goes to his back left pocket. Downs fires across the middle, and it is intercepted. And right into the breadbasket of Rennie Jackson, the junior defensive back. And it looks like it was intended for Dustin Petrus.
Mm-hmm. That's going to be one they'll want to get back, and we'll just have to see, quick change of field and change of pace here. So receiver never saw it. And good job of I guess that would be, Sinan is the free safety. Never actually moved, and receiver just never looked back for the pass. So that was the hot route. It was the right read, especially for what they were trying to reach. It was third down and 12, and just kind of comes up short. Let's see how specially fit, how they answer the call here.
And they will bring Tyree Spencer back in to accompany Angelo on his right hip. 2 receivers to each side for the Rams. They'll send Spencer in motion. Angelo looking downfield. This one sailing and out of bounds, incomplete.
Angelo never got that ball really never had a chance. He didn't really set his feet, so kind of just put it up in the air. And for a moment there, the receiver had a little bit of a step, but just a poorly thrown ball to the outside.
So 2nd and 10 after the IMG turnover. They'll go with same formation. 2 receivers to each side. Tyree Spencer in the backfield with quarterback senior Joey Angelo. He'll roll right. Pressure coming, nowhere to go. and he just skips it. It doesn't get to the original line of scrimmage, and that will be intentional grounding. And that is going to be a big loss for Specially Fit and a loss of down.
Didn't really, it just looked bad from the beginning. I don't even think there was a running back that kind of retreated back. I can understand, you know, the technique of trying to run that middle screen, but there wasn't anyone there to really throw the ball to. Or if he maybe could have got a little air up underneath it, maybe he would have had a play. But both offenses right now a little rusty, you want to call it that. They both played last week, so wow, that's a lot of yards. It's going to be second down and third down in forever, and a loss of down, as you mentioned before, Ryan.
So a 5-yard spot foul and a loss of 20. And now 3rd and 30. Not many plays in the playbook for this down and distance. We'll see what Specially Fit has dialed up here on 3rd and very long. 2 receivers each side. Angelo awaits the shotgun snap. Drops, pressure coming. Moves around in the pocket, and again, the little sidearm skip intended for Nasir Taylor, and incomplete, and another situation to punt for Specially Fit and the Rams.
That was a good job by Jackson Soden for IMG Academy, applying some pressure. Kept pushing the pocket, didn't really have quarterback Angelo didn't have a lot of space to step up, tried to make a play out of nothing, and so great job after the turnover for IMG defense to hold up.
Last punt for the Rams went out at the IMG 30-yard line. From almost the same position on the field, we'll see where this one ends up. This one goes off the right side of his foot and sails out towards the track and field track, and this will be some better field position for the Ascenders. Looks like they'll have it spotted at the 44-yard line of IMG Academy.
Well, early on, we're not getting much out of the offenses, so hopefully everybody can kind of shake off the jitters and, you know, it's kind of settle down here. Both quarterbacks are looking a little shaky as is, so we'll see how Nolan Downs comes out. A class of 29, just a freshman.
And he has been on campus, was here as an 8th grader as well. They'll send Sennett in motion. Downs looking, has a man. It is Caden Gould. And Gould is going to get enough for the first down. And the first time for the Ascenders in Ram territory, pickup of about 12 yards on the completion.
Gould did a great job of pushing, just really pushing his DB upfield and giving him some space. Come out of that break and really just settle his hips. That time, Downs had time, good feet, and a good delivery on that comeback route. And first down for the Ascenders.
1st and 10 from the 43-yard line of Specially Fit. Downs takes the snap. Little delayed drop back, rolling to his left. Has Sennett. Sennett with space. He's going to cut back, and then he is bottled up. He'll pick up about 1 with his forward progress down to the 42-yard line on the bailout screen pass.
It's the right read, the right check down. Just not a lot of positive yards out of that. Good job from the defense, especially Fit, kind of covered everything downfield, at least as an initial read. And so Sennett gets what he can out of that, but looks like so far 2 throws now from Downs, and he's really settled. He's kind of settled his feet now, and let's see how this offense progresses as the quarter continues.
Trips out to the right, 2nd and 9 for the Ascenders. Now the snap, Downs going to go back to the air again. He does have the wind at his back, and he's going to get sacked down at the 50-yard line. And busting through, Rennie Jackson, the same guy that had the interception, now has a big tackle for loss and a sack against the IMG quarterback.
That's, you know, that's a great delayed blitz. That's something you see a lot of from the SEC defenses, and so it was very delayed. He didn't come right away, but Downs did have some time, but that delayed blitz, no one picked that up. They were kind of hat on the hat and just didn't account for Jackson coming through.
So it will be Savion, Alti, and Sennett, and 2 receivers to each side on 3rd and long for IMG. Now the little screen pass to the left. It is caught. It's not going to be nearly enough. And Dino DeLacus with his second catch of the game, but it'll bring up 4th down.
Tough making play calls as an offensive coordinator when you're behind the sticks like that, even for especially fit. You mentioned before, is there a play in the playbook for 3rd down and 30? And, even for something like this where they were, in the 3rd and even longer, maybe 20 on that. So safe play. I do like to see how Downs has settled himself. No errant throws. His feet are set, so he'll progress and keep playing well through this.
Ford Hansen back to punt. His heels on the IMG 40. Great long snap back and a booming punt deep inside the 5. The returner should have probably let it bounce into the end zone, but he's able to evade a couple of tackles and pick up 5 or so on the play. Still a very long field for specially fit, and a nice punt by the punter, Ford Hansen.
Absolutely poor. That's a poor decision. Typically, if you're a coach or if you're a player, you should know, just put your heels on the 10-yard line and let things happen. If it's over your head, then good, not a bad thing. But to kind of, retreat and go back towards the goal line, it really didn't help the cause at all.
And it is the first hydration break of the night. A beautiful 70 degrees here in Bradenton. IMG Academy supports Gatorade's mission to get more athletes into sports. When we all play, we all win. Gatorade is committed to giving millions their chance to get in the game. Together, we can fuel tomorrow. Just one of many fine sponsors here, Norris, of IMG Academy Athletics that allow us to be one of the top prep schools in the nation, if not the best school for, again, not just football, golf, soccer, tennis, baseball, now softball, wrestling, lacrosse, swimming coming soon. We've seen the signs coming. So IMG just expanding at a rapid pace. And again, you being the broadcast coordinator and broadcast media teacher, get to deal with some of these kids. And again, it's just amazing how quickly we're growing and, again, doing it better than most other sports-focused and sports-centric athletic programs.
Well, I think the thing that's not lost on a lot of the students that, our scholar athletes that are here is, it definitely is a one-of-one. No one does it quite like IMG Academy in the process, and it works. And so from that standpoint, keeping kids dialed in, it's a great environment for that.
And they'll go to Tyree Spencer. This time the defensive line for the Ascenders bears down and is able to bring Spencer down before he can get that full head of steam running upfield and stop them for a very short gain.
Really good job that time. It just came right off, just slipped right inside. I believe that's, we don't have a jersey number for number 50. I believe that's 91. That was Garrett Graham coming, just bursting through on the backside. So he was able to run that down from the backside from his defensive tackle spot.
Garrett Graham, an absolute force on the defensive line for the Ascenders. Now Angelo dropping pressure coming. This one picked off, and a pick 6 into the end zone. And I believe it is the defensive lineman and captain Perrin Bareka with the interception and the short run into the end zone.
And that might have been just what the Ascenders needed early on here. Both offenses have kind of been sputtering along, and so, you turn to your defense, and, as they say, a lineman's dream. They get to score a touchdown, even though it was just 3 yards. But, that pick, that tip ball drill is working, and touchdown for the Ascenders. That's something that you'll definitely remember for the rest of his life. We're playing championship football, so everything tonight is going down in the history books.
And Perrin Bareka, one of 4 captains for the Ascenders, along with quarterback Nolan Downs, Dino DeLacus, and linebacker Bryce Johnston. Snap is back, the hold is down, the kick is up, and the kick is good with 5:09 remaining in the first quarter. Ascenders jump out to a 7-0 lead after a beautiful Ford Hansen punt. And then again, incredible pressure. Brady Golden busting on that touchdown on the right side and flustering quarterback Angelo, getting the deflection, and then Perrin Bareka just busting into the end zone completely unabated. And the Ascenders jump out to a quick 7-0 lead.
Well, not to sound cliche, but the game is always played in the trenches, and, back-to-back plays there. First of all, with Joe Hargan, and then, with Garrett Graham, made the big play behind the line of scrimmage, and then you come back with the big play from Baraka. You cannot you can't stress enough great defensive line play, especially in a championship situation where, your offense is sputtering, and now you get a big defensive play.
So we're still going to have to wait to see the IMG offense back on the field, but I don't think they're going to mind the extended break after the pick six, probably one of the shortest pick sixes we've ever had here at IMG Academy Stadium. And Hansen on for the kickoff. Second time off the tee. This one will have an opportunity to be returned. It's fielded at the 2-yard line. Trying to bust to the outside and taken down. A nice run by Shoy Ewers. And it'll get a little bit more than what he would have with the touchback.
That's not a bad run back. I mean, trying to give their team a little extra space, but also a great job special teams for IMG. Anytime that, kind of the rule of thumb, anytime on a kickoff, if you can make that stop, don't let them pass the 20, that's a pretty good coverage. That's pretty good kickoff coverage. So IMG did a great job. And are we marking off some penalty yards? No, but they're right at about the 21, so great job there. And
you mentioned penalty yards, and that is something that has cost all three programs for IMG, the state, the junior national, and the national team, have had some trouble with penalties. But so far tonight, none for the Ascenders, and you see how it works out for them. And now running right side, barreling forward, and it is big man Tyree Spencer. And he will get enough for the first down and chunk out about 15 yards or so to get the specially fit first down.
Well, that time he lined up a little deeper. I think linebackers need to kind of check his depth. That'll kind of give you, if you want a tip or something to show his hand. And he's just that first contact. He's just running through that first contact right now, right off tackle. And, hopefully he's going to run out of gas. But, first 3 plays of the game offensively, they gave him the ball, and see he hasn't broke to the outside again. Here he is.
And straight up the middle, he had a collision with captain and linebacker Bryce Johnston on the last play, and Johnston immediately coming off the field as he looks like he took a helmet straight into his arm. He collided one-on-one with Spencer, so he's currently got his helmet off. He's probably going to have to take a little bit of a breather.
Yeah, well, that's.
And now it looks like Spencer.
Spencer's down. But that's not the second. I think that's more of, all right, guys, that's my 3 runs, and I get a nap, and then I get to walk off the field. So I think he, and he's playing defense. So and it does loosen up the defense a little bit. I mean, I don't know. Just depends on what they do with the other back that's back there. Randy Johnson, he's a load himself. So some really big backs. Linebackers are going to really have to step up. They're getting some good push up front too.
1st and 10, Angelo takes the snap, and this time quickly into the backfield, Noah Kasimi cuts down Isaiah Mayer, and that will be for a loss.
Good job. It's going to come off right away.
And again, Norris, having played, when you have a back that's the size of Tyree Spencer, if you're a defensive lineman or a linebacker, you kind of get a little extra boost of adrenaline knowing that there's a guy a lot smaller that is a little bit easier to tackle.
Oh, yeah. Well, at least you can see him.
2nd and 11. Mayer will jump over to the right side of Angelo. 2 receivers in tight to each side. Mayer in motion. Pressure coming. Trying to get around 2. Still holding on to the ball, just fires downfield, and it's going to be intercepted by the Ascenders. And it was Alex Perry, the junior defensive back, and Angelo makes his 2nd interception. And the Ascenders defense right now holding all the cards, and they'll bring the offense of IMG Academy back onto the field.
And, I mean, you really can't fault Angelo for trying to make a play, trying to make something out of nothing. I mean, and I'm sure he saw his receiver field, but he never had his feet set. He was out off balance and so on, so never really regathered before he made that throw. So, as we talked about before, both offenses still have sputtered, and I think he's just trying to give a spark. He had the interception for specially fit earlier, and so this is just one of those things. The quarterback's just trying to do a little more. Here's to IMG.
1st and 10, Sennett makes one miss. He's getting closer to midfield. He's going to pick up about 16 on the play. and gets the first down and moves the chains and tries to get IMG back into specially fit territory.
That might be the biggest, that was the biggest offensive play, about 16-yard run for Senate. So great run, right off tackle, good job up front, and just kind of caught the edge and made a great play.
Now the snap, the hand to Senate again, trying to go left. He's able to shake one tackle in the backfield, and then will have to settle back down at the line of scrimmage for no gain.
Brought down by Maurice MacArthur.
It's going to be tough sledding up in the middle, I think.
Second and 10.
And this time of year, even the big guys, everybody's been playing all season, so it's not like anyone's out of condition.
Max Jewett in the slot on the far side. Two receivers to the right for Nolan Downs. The hard count does not draw the Rams offside. Getting the adjustment from the sideline. 6 on the play clock. Now the snap. Firing nice crossing route to Von Arzamanian, who's going to get enough for the first down. And another completion for Nolan Downs and another first down for the Ascenders.
That was the play that they wanted before. The nice hot route. Secondary, especially in the slot, they're playing a little far off. So, pretty much an easy just catch and run. And, last time, Rennie Jackson just stepped right in front of him, actually threw it right to him, and the receiver didn't see it coming. But great execution that time, great feet by the quarterback. First down, Ascenders.
Hand off to Senate, looking for a seam up the middle, and he finds one.
That's just good football, hat on the hat, and just kind of pushing, kind of having their way right up in the middle. And here comes. They're not even huddling up. They're going right now. I think they have found something in the middle, but it's still going to be tough sledding. Everybody's stout. Both defenses are stout in the middle.
Senate with the 8-yard run, and now the encroachment from specially fit will give the Ascenders 5 free yards and a first down. So it'll be 1st and 10. The ball will be at the specially fit 28-yard line. IMG in their blue jerseys, black pants, and again the infamous chrome helmets.
The American flag. The American Ascender logo.
So 1st and 10. Now the snap, play action from Downs, looking across the middle. Rolls to his left, fires, and it is... It was complete to Delacus again, but it's going to be for
a small loss. Tried to hit that bubble screen into the boundary.
Yeah, and important to note, Nolan Downs has, I believe, completed every pass shy of that interception. So 2nd and 10, Senate in the backfield. Trips out to the right, one lone receiver out to Nolan Downs' left. And a timeout, I believe, taken.
That's the end of the quarter.
That's the end of the quarter. I haven't even been looking by the clock. Again, a very quick-moving first quarter. We get to the end of the first with IMG leading in the SSIA State Championship 7-0 over Specially Fit Academy. You are watching IMG Academy Football.
Available for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You can enjoy ultimate convenience and proximity to campus, as well as local area attractions and top-rated beaches. Visit www.imglegacyhotel.com and reserve your stay.
Therabody is proud to be an official recovery partner of IMG Academy. Therabody offers an ecosystem of percussive therapy and pneumatic compression products and solutions that help our student athletes perform better, recover faster, and manage pain. Ryan Sudol and Norris Thomas with you here for the beginning of the second quarter. The Ascenders will now, again, attack south to north, right to left on your screen. Nolan Downs trips right, has some time, Looking deep toward the sideline, and it is caught, has Jaden Montgomery. And a nice dart thrown by Nolan Downs. They'll give him the first down.
That is a really, really good throw. He had a little pressure, so he had to put a little bit of touch on it, and actually looked like it was going to be intercepted, but a great throw, number one, and even a better catch by Montgomery. It's about a 12-yard, out on that. So great job, good route, and good timing. So put the ball right where only his receiver could get it, and it was another stoppage to play.
1st and 10, ball in the red zone, spotted on the specially fit 17-yard line. Downs in shotgun. Play action to Sennett, firing across the middle and just out of the reach of Dino DeLacus. And incomplete. And there was a penalty flag. We'll see what the call is.
Kind of came in late and behind, so imagine it could be. Well, corner was pressed up, so it was man-to-man, and he's out there on a true island and really didn't. I don't think he really took away the inside because the receiver ended up getting to the inside him. Now he's in trail.
It looks like they're going to wave off the penalty.
Yeah, I didn't see anything. I'm not going to dispute what the ref saw, but I didn't see anything bad. What I saw bad, sometimes I see bad things about to happen. So with that corner being pressed up by himself out on an island, and there's still a lot of sideline to one side and a lot of space in between. Receiver has really a two-way to go, so he put himself in a tough spot to be pressed up like that.
And 2nd and 10, the handoff. Sennett finds a hole on the right side. He'll bring it up to about the 10 for a gain of 7 yards on the play.
It looks like the Ascenders have found something in the middle of that defensive line, and definitely off tackle more so than trying to run right up the middle.
2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Nolan Downs takes the snap, and this time Sennett stood up in the backfield for a loss of 5.
Tyree Spencer. Get to call that name a lot.
Lost to the 14-yard line.
He's my favorite.
And that is the first negative run for Savion Alty and Sennett. We'll bring in Max Jewett, Von Arzamanian, and Dino DeLacus to the near side. The lone receiver out wide to the right, Caden Gould. Ascenders stay in shotgun. Now the snap. Downs, pressure coming, firing across the middle. It is tipped off the hands of Jewett. And luckily, nobody in the secondary to get the deflection. And
lots of yellow jerseys pretty much posted up right along the goal line, just the way they were playing that. So, he would have had to been pinpoint on that throw in order for that to come out as something positive.
And that was 4th down, and obviously you can't fault Coach Pond for going for it that close. As, again, you've got to have confidence in your defense. Again, after 2 interceptions and just absolutely stonewalling the specially fit offense. We'll see how they do. Again, Tyree Spencer was very active. Does not look like he will start this drive on offense.
I'm starting to believe that Angelo's going to have to do some stuff, do some things with his feet, kind of throw the defense off because he hasn't thrown very well around it. There's a good run.
Isaiah Mayer, again, shoving a couple of tackles off.
Those are some big backs. Those are some big backs. Yeah, you're really going to have to, my defensive coordinator in college used to say, you're going to have to take some mean pills in order to.
And it looks like a broken play as Angelo looked like he wanted to hand it off. And instead, I believe that was Massimo Piatelli.
So just a little bit of a stall, and, it's right there. He pretty much, with that, it makes a really easy read for that defensive end, Piatelli, to come down and just read. He was already sitting there in his, pretty much sitting in his stance, and they blocked the opposite way, so he had a free shot at the quarterback.
They will shift Mayer over out in the slot. Pressure coming, and down he goes. What a sack by the Ascenders. Absolutely unguarded Caden Brewer.
Headed to Coastal Carolina, I believe. He's a load. He's as big as one of the, number 6, Isaiah Meyer. And he just had a free shot. Nobody saw him. And, you know, Angelo he's had time to make some plays. His feet were set, but I didn't know. I'm not sure what he saw or didn't see, but could have got the ball out. But what a play, what a shot by Caden Brewer. And that wasn't a delayed blitz. That was blitz all the way from his strong, basically from his strong safety spot. And he's built like a linebacker. So that's a load at full speed.
So it'll be 4th and 17. And again, we mentioned the wind early on. This is actually blowing kind of into the face of the long snapper. And again, special teams at the high school level, Norris. Again, long snapping is a very, very touchy subject. So the snapper has to go against a breeze to try to get this. I believe that was another penalty against Specially Fit. So dangerous territory. We'll see if IMG opens the floodgates and tries to bring the house here.
They really need to watch for number 3 here.
And it goes through the end zone, and it's a safety. And just call it the broadcaster curse. A free 2 points, and it's going to be the ball back for the Ascenders. And the snap does not get to the punter and goes out of the back of the end zone for 2 free points for IMG.
Well, the good is coming waves so far for the Ascenders tonight. First of all, with the big play before they had to pick 6 for the touchdown, and now you get the big sack by Caden Brewer coming off the edge, and then the punt rolls through the end zone. So things going really, really well for the Ascender defense. Things not going so hot for Especially Fit Academy offensively.
So 1st and 10, 9-0 the lead. Or actually, we'll have the ensuing kickoff coming from Specially Fit. And should give IMG some ideal field position. Again, as this is not typically teed up at the 40, this will be teed up all the way back at the 20. And IMG just starting to kind of pull away. You saw the effort, again, early on from the first quarter from Specially Fit, but some of these players going 2 ways, Norris. The fatigue seems to have been caught up to them really quickly.
Absolutely. And, I mean, you've got to feel good, head coach Jeff Pond for IMG Academy. Offense still hasn't, they've produced some yards and had some position to do some things, but, your defense is kind of holding it down. You've got a 9-0 lead and really haven't produced much offense yet. So this might be a great opportunity for them to have some pretty good field position moving forward.
Polk and Delakas are back for IMG. Specially Fit has to kick this from their 20.
And it is the 2 receivers, Caden Gould and Dino Delakas. Their heels just inside the 30-yard line. And we'll see if they go off the tee. It looks like they will. This will be the first time that we see Specially Fit off the tee. Again, IMG will get the ball to begin the second half as well.
So they've changed the rules so you can opt to kick it as opposed to punt it. Back in the old country, as they used to say.
And this will be Samuel Vargas. Sends it deep. And over the head of Trell Polk. The defensive back gets up to the 40. He's got some space, and it looks like we're going to have a block in the back or maybe a hold. Back in Ascender territory, there is a flag sitting at about the 37.
Well, he had a wall and pretty much an open gateway.
Almost at the end of the play.
Really doesn't take much. Sometimes, as much as you can coach it, and it's always different game speed as opposed to what you see in practice. But great job by Polk. We had some pretty good field position there. So let's see where we can. Was it a hold or a block in the back? He's coming here.
So the flag, they're moving to the 50.
This is a holding penalty.
And it was holding, so nice to
That
note,
right
though,
there.
that is a
Right as he made the corner, there was a hold, and just not a block in the back, a hold. So it's a little bit forgiven if it's a hold. A block in the back is just almost unforgiven when at this level. Like, you got to know the difference. If you get, well, they don't have names on the back of their jersey, so maybe that's why it wasn't a block in the back.
And now they will run straight up the middle end, busting through for 9 yards. Xavier Alti and Sennett. Oh, it is Caden Gould. So Gould getting his first carry as a running back will pick up 9.
Well, they're definitely testing the will. You're coming off tackle and running right into the teeth of that. And we've got a timeout, it looks like.
They've got a timeout for Specially Fit. We will take it with them. 8:22 remaining in the first half. The Ascenders with a 9-0 lead and the football. We'll be right back. You're watching the SSIA State Championship Final.
An ecosystem of percussive therapy and pneumatic compression products and solutions that help our student athletes perform better, recover faster, and manage pain.
Welcome back. 2nd and 1. Nolan Downs in shotgun. Now the snap. Play action to Gould. This one, fingertip grab from Von Arzamanian. And another completion for Nolan Downs. They're going to say he ran out shy of the line to gain. So 3rd and 1. No gain on that one.
I like the play call on that. And, you got Arzamanian coming across the formation, and he's in stride and has some momentum. It wasn't necessarily a jet sweep, but that jet sweep motion and then getting to him on the edge, but really not that much of a pickup. But what are we, 2nd down, 1st down? And I think they have the chains are off.
And they are going to actually, they initially signaled no gain.
Well, I don't think the chains were set correctly.
So they had originally spotted him at the 49. They're going to give him the 48. So a 3-yard gain and a 1st down.
Okay, there we are.
Little confusion from the Zebras, but no problem. From the 48 of Specially Fit. Downs, play action, looking deep downfield. Fires looking for DeLocus, who is ripped down before the ball can get to him. And Ashoy Ewers absolutely got a handful of jersey, and DeLocus still almost made the catch.
Yes.
But another big penalty for Specially Fit. That'll be 15 free yards.
And that time Downs, he took a shot. His feet, the ball got off, but his feet weren't really set, so the ball actually sailed. So probably, if it's thrown on time, he had a step on the secondary. But the ball kind of hung in the air, and that he had to stop and come back for the ball. But also he was in his throwing motion was impeded that time by Mr. Spencer.
And DeLocus stays down. Looks like he landed a little hard on his back. And slowly getting back up to his feet. Coaching staff surrounding.
Well, this field still is relatively new. Still doesn't have a lot of give to it, even with the newer technology, because they've got the pellets in that surface. But one heck of a play.
And DeLocus will come off on his own power with a little pep in his step, so probably just needs a couple minutes to catch his breath. Maybe just got the wind knocked out of him. So 1st and 10. Send it back in at tailback. And we have Caden Gould, Von Arzumanian, Ty Plummer, the tight end, out to the right. And Jaden Montgomery to the near side. Arzumanian in motion. They fake the jet sweep. Sennett dragging the pile and will get about 2 yards on the play.
It's not a bad. I like that. It kind of drew the linebackers, made them read that jet sweep coming back, and then went counter on the backside. So like I said before, I think upstairs in the booth they must have seen something that they can kind of attack within the line, not running right into the teeth of it, but let's get them slanting one way and come back the other. And this direction is still, that still could be a thing.
2nd and 9, shotgun snap to Downs. Stepping up, looking for the home run ball into the end zone. It is caught. Are you kidding me? Touchdown Ascenders. Coming down with it, Caden Gould.
Great play. Great timing. A lot of speed, just mano a mano right on the outside. You can't ask for a better ball from Downs. Hey. That's just pure speed on speed. Ball got up in the air and he put it where only his guy could get it. And sometimes you need a play like that. Sometimes it's just let's take a shot. So they finally took their shot, and here it is.
Snap is back, the hold is down, the kick is up, and the kick is good. 7:20 remaining in the first half, and the Ascenders jump out to a 16-0 lead. You're watching the SSIA State Championship Final. And the ensuing kickoff will luckily bounce into the end zone, just sneaks inside that pylon.
Just run away from it, get away from it. Don't try to make a play on that. That could have spelled disaster for an offense that's had some trouble generating yards, never mind generating points. Of course, some bright spots early on. We both like Spencer, but he's, I wouldn't say 3 yards in a cloud of, what do they say?
3 yards in a cloud of dust.
I think he's like 3 carries in a pillow. Needs a breather. He's got to have a breather.
Yeah, he is back in there. He is.
Yep, and he's been playing defense, so I don't think, this isn't anybody that you want to kind of play tag with. He's a big guy, and he can still run you down.
And he is back on the left hip of the quarterback, John Angelo. 2 receivers in tight to each side for the specially fit quarterback. And a delay of game, another penalty. The 5th penalty of the game for specially fit. 5 penalties for a total of 50 yards. IMG just with the 1 10-yard penalty that we saw on the kickoff return.
And they're untimely.
Angelo firing this one and almost intercepted.
Trell Polk.
And Trell Polk.
Play.
And you saw him almost, as soon as the ball went through his hands, you saw him put his head in his hands knowing that he could have had a pick 6.
Yep. Took his eye out. I mean, truly took his hands were right where, but you could see just even from his face mask, the positioning of his face mask, kind of, just didn't see it all the way through, and he would have probably still be sitting in the end zone right now. You know, I watched Angelo in pregame warm-ups. He really looked good. I like the touch he has on the ball. He can spin it.
And there they get Spencer in a screen pass. He loses the football, and IMG celebrating like they have it, and they do. And the third turnover for Specially Fit. And Spencer, you saw on the screen pass, getting to the near sideline, and then just coughs the football up, and the IMG offense will be back onto the field.
Just, you know, really trying to do a little too much. But the other thing, you know, from a fundamental standpoint, he's carrying the ball in his inside arm. So you watch that play again. If we saw it again, he had the ball in his left arm on the right sideline. So if he has that on the other arm nearest the sideline, he definitely would avoid that. But that's where he took the shot.
And Spencer was down for an extended period of time. He is frustrated. Elijah Ham went in for the tackle, and his helmet just finding the football as Spencer was running down the sideline, knocks it loose, and the Ascenders come up with it.
It's a big play. Big play. Let's see what the Ascenders do with this field position. You know, I think we're going to see a lot of Spencer tonight. Period, the end. Like he's going to have his moments where he's going to need a breather, and, you know, rightfully so. But that's not the last we'll see of him. And, you know, somebody's just trying to make a play.
1st and 10 from the Specially Fit 32-yard line. He scored from this yard line last drive, and now Sennett dancing his way through. There's a player without a helmet. A flag comes in late. Sennett looking into the end zone. And he's going to be just shy about a 30-yard gain, but almost certainly going to be coming back.
Well, someone lost their helmet, so I don't know if, you know, if that's where the penalty is going to come.
And this will come back.
Coming back, and so not sure what kind of defense Specially Fit is playing, but, you know, that jet sweep motion is allowing that even the backside play linebacker is going with that jet sweep, and the other linebacker is not replacing to the strong side, and they're able to just come right back with counter with Sennett. So they're going to have to make some adjustments when, you know, with that motion, because that's just, you know, that's an easy read for the quarterback and the running back, because, you know, there's really no one over there.
15-yard face mask for the Ascenders. It'll be 1st and 18 when we come back after this hydration break. 6:54 remaining in the first half. You're watching IMG Academy football. Welcome back. 1st and 18 after the face mask for the Ascenders. Ball at the 40-yard line of Specially Fit. Downs takes the snap, hands to Sennett. Again, dragging defenders, still fighting forward. The pile continues to move, and now the whistle will stop the forward progress as Sennett will pick up about 7 on the play.
They're down just inside what we consider like 4-down territory. But I like what IMG is doing. They have a commitment to the run because it's something that they've seen throughout, you know, earlier in the first quarter. And, you know, again, the fatigue piece comes in for Specially Fit. But still a commitment to the run here, and we'll see if they stick to that. Sennett has had some pretty big runs and made some great plays in the run game, and You don't have to throw it, but you still want to get to a comfortable spot here.
Play action. Downs looking for the big home run ball again, and it is incomplete. Delacus just off his fingertips with the full extension. Downs throws through the wind, but the Ascenders will have to settle for the incompletion.
That's going to look a lot different next year. I mean, we're talking about Downs, who's a freshman. He's 14 years old, playing, with a lot of seniors I'm sure, on that other defense and even on his own team. So, he'll get the touch that he needs. You can watch the nose of the ball, it's a little high, so his front shoulder's up. So as he develops and gets stronger, that will become a touch pass, because you can see he's definitely got the arm strength.
Downs takes the snap, drops, steps up in the pocket, stays on his feet. Able to evade a tackle, takes the slide, and gets about 4 on the play.
About the 28-yard line. The officials timeout.
And a little bit of a collision in the backfield.
Looks like a cramp.
2 players slow to get up. And it looks like
that, yeah.
maybe got a little rolled up on.
Mm-hmm. But I like that. I like Downs pulling it down, getting what he can. It's the penalties, no matter what it is, when it puts you behind the sticks, and you took a shot, and when you were behind the sticks, and so that makes that still third and long. So, still a manageable play. 4th down. I don't know if they'll try to, kick a field goal here, but
yeah, and the wind seems to have settled a little bit.
Yeah, it's not as strong as it was at the beginning. He'd be kicking with the wind.
And being helped off the
Offense
field.
is still on the field.
Liam Chernitsky. It'll be 4th and 6. And again, this is almost that area, Norris, where you're too close to punt, too far to kick a field goal. So why not just keep the offense off and see if you can get that 6 yards? Wouldn't be surprised to see Nolan Downs maybe try that hard count to get 5 more yards to make it a 4th and 1. It will be centered on his right hip. 3 receivers to his left, 1 to his right. Now the shotgun snap. Downs drops, fires across, and has his tight end, or his wide receiver, Max Jewett. And they will convert on 4th down.
Great job that time. I thought he was going to try that little seam route that they've tried in other short yardage situations where they're throwing it, but that came from the outside. Good job of catching the ball with his hands and then getting down to the bound with Jewett.
So 1st and 10, IMG on the move. They will get the ball to begin the second half as well, as the clock continues to wind here in the first half. Now the hand to Sennett, and the offensive line just kind of a little bit of an olay there as Sennett stopped quickly in the backfield.
That was quite the tackle.
2-yard line, a loss of 5 at 2nd and 15, and an official's timeout on the field.
And Tayshawn Newton, the linebacker DN slap, and that looks like that's Spencer that's cramping up back behind the play.
And Spencer slow to walk off again. He was their bowling ball in the first quarter.
We haven't heard their last. We haven't heard the last from Spencer tonight.
Under Armour is proud to outfit IMG Academy football in the world's most innovative uniforms and training gear. Visit UA.com today to see Under Armour's full range of performance apparel. So 2nd and 15. Ball back at the 22. The Ascenders knocking on the door of the red zone. Looks like Gould back in at that running back position on the left hip of quarterback Nolan Downs. And an offside against Specially Fit, so they'll get those 5 yards on that Sennett loss, right back to bring up 2nd and 10.
This is an encroachment penalty against Specially Fit. Moves the ball down to the 17-yard line. So it is 2nd and 10 now.
4 minutes remaining in the first half. Arzamanian in motion.
There he is.
Looking for that corner route into the end zone, and the flag comes in for interference intended for Gould. Looked like he was going to catch that. Instead, it's incomplete, but they will get half the distance to the goal line on the pass interference.
I like the idea. You got Gould coming out on the wheel route and had timing, but, defensive back he had to have picked that up late. Never got his head around. Made a play on the ball, but just didn't get his head around. And, you get a guy like a Gould, with a head of steam coming around that corner. If you're sitting flat-footed as a defensive back, pretty much all you can do is kind of hold on and hope for the best.
So it should still be second down. It is 2nd and 1. Now the snap. The handoff. Gould fighting up the middle, and he's going to be stopped in between the tackles. That is where one of the places Specially Fit has been extremely strong. And Mekhi Hart, one of the defensive linemen that was able to stop the Ascenders on 2nd and short and force a 3rd and 2.
I mean, if Mike Peters, the OC for IMG, if he, like I said, he saw something in that front, but it wasn't it's not right in the teeth. It's going to be something off tackle with, maybe a backside counter or something off tackle to the play side that's going to, spring these backs. But running right up inside, that's going to be tough sledding for anybody.
So 3rd and 2, ball at the 9-yard line of Specially Fit, and the Ascenders will take a timeout. We will take it with them. 3:02 remaining in the first half, and the Ascenders up 16-0 and threatening. You are watching IMG Academy football. Third and 2 after the Ascender timeout. Nolan Downs and Caden Gould in the backfield. Downs takes the snap. Gould finds a hole on the right side, fighting forward and into the end zone.
Touchdown.
8 yards out, and the Ascenders start pouring it on. It's 22-0 with the extra point pending.
That time the front of IMG just kind of imposed their will. Look at number 73. The big offensive lineman, Jamison Mandina, just kind of drove his guy and then got to the second level and just drove that linebacker into the end zone and just strike a match right off the back of him. And Caden Gould finds pay dirt behind a great call from the OC and IMG. Pay dirt.
And that is the second consecutive touchdown for Gould. He had the 32-yard receiving touchdown, and he adds an 8-yard rushing touchdown, and Ford Hansen adds one more for the PAT. 2:56 remaining in the half, and IMG out to a 23-0 lead. Again, if they can manage the clock right, they might have an opportunity to get into the end zone before halftime. If they can force either another turnover or a quick stop, IMG still has 2 timeouts remaining. Again, in championship games so far right now, IMG has outscored Specially Fit from 2023 and tonight by a score of 65-0.
still a lot of football to be played. And, I mean, everything always is going to come down to your quarterback play. Fortunately, while both offenses were sputtering, IMG's defense was made a couple of plays to put them in position to kind of settle the offense down. And since then, they've kind of been in a nice flow and a nice rhythm.
This one fielded at the 7. And a little bit of room, but chased down from behind. I believe that was Jack Schwartz with the pursuit and the tackle.
Backside, yeah. That is a great hustle play. Because Jack Schwartz was on our left side closest to the center sideline and ran that play from the back side because he had something there. I mean, if you really kind of watch that, Jay Nicholson had a little space to kind of get around the corner and just got run down.
So 1st and 10 for Specially Fit. They've got just under 3 minutes to try to take that 0 off the scoreboard. Quarterback John Angelo has 3 targets to his right, 1 to his left. Takes the shotgun snap. They'll go to the air. Looking to the sideline, and it is reeled in and quickly out of bounds is Amari Riley, the junior wide receiver / athlete on the rosters we've been provided.
So this is what I was talking about. This is what I saw in pregame. I saw him able to step in. They ran some really good. The receivers actually are running Chris routes. He just hasn't had the time. Probably needs to kind of settle himself a little bit more, but not a bad throw and a great catch in his hands. And, not a big gain, but that's what I saw in pregame.
2nd and 9. Angelo awaits the snap. It looks like they'll go back to the air. Pressure coming. Angelo steps up and has a wide open man darting down the sideline and cutting back. And finally chased down by Caden Brewer. But completely unguarded was the captain, Talon Copeland. And gets the biggest play of the night for Specially Fit.
Very important for them to find some rhythm and find something good out of their offense heading into this second half.
And now Spencer
comes to an end.
Rolling to the left side and is quickly wrapped up. I believe it was Garrett Graham, but he will still gain about 5 yards on the play.
Well, they're not fooling anyone when Spencer's in the backfield, so maybe it helps to have him. Again, this time he's going to hold on to that.
Trying to get out to the outside. He will stop the clock, but pick up enough for the first down.
That's a load. We'll talk. I'm sure. We'll keep talking about this. Throughout the ball game, but you get the big 39-yard play on the pass play. IMG could be, for all intent and purposes, a little gassed right here, so go give it to the big guy again. 1st
and 10. They will go back to the well, and Spencer up the middle and has to take a shoulder from Brady Golden at the end of the play. Yeah, and that is the well they are going to continue to go to.
He's down again. But, let's just hope he's not injured. I mean, he's taking some shots, and
he's taking them every play as well.
He's taking them every play, and on top of, he's giving them some plays from his defensive tackle, defensive end spot also. But good idea. I mean, at this point, maybe go to the air now and use him as a decoy. Just kind of suck those linebackers in so you can get something in behind them, just possibly. I mean, I'm no offensive coordinator. Just let's pretend it. And there we go. You got 4 people to help him up,
and now though Spencer looks like he will need some assistance to get off the field in a gingerly fashion.
We'll see him in the second half, I'm thinking.
And again, whenever there's a state championship game, sometimes you have to find that little extra. As of right now, he's getting some help off the field, but again, after a nice little break here in about 1:42, would expect the 20-minute halftime break to, again, give him just a little bit of a second win because they will need him in the second half.
Absolutely. Whether it's, let's decide, where's he going to be most beneficial.
Angelo.
They get a lot
Handing off right side, and a nice.
And Mayer, you know,
Give is to Mayer.
Mayer's just as effective from his linebacker spot and running back spot. And there he comes again.
And now the
You
quick
gotta put a hand
snap.
on him.
And Mayer, they're trying to fight him forward into the end zone, and they're going to stop him just shy. Again, Mayer's lightning to Tyree Spencer's thunder. And again, looking quickly for the no huddle. They have to be careful not to score too quick, though, Norris, because, again, 60 seconds would be a long time to give the IMG offense back onto the field. And the timeout will be taken here with 1:01 remaining.
And we've had 2 series where, you know, a couple of instances, especially, you know, with the long touchdown to Gould, they're not afraid. You know, they've taken some shots. So, you know, let's just see how things would play out if they leave enough time on the scoreboard here. But I do believe the coaches from Specially Fit are going to have to kind of make a decision about how they're going to utilize Spencer going forward in the second half. You know, dare I say, a la Travis Hunter or anything like that.
So it will be 2nd and goal from the 1-yard line when Specially Fit decides the play. And again, this is where sometimes the IMG defense likes to pin their ears back and, again, put a hat on someone, maybe try and force a turnover. And, again, yeah, if you're Specially Fit, you might not want to score, giving IMG's offense 60 seconds and 2 timeouts to possibly extend the lead back to 23.
Yeah, and it also depends on, you know, where are they going to, I don't see that they started the play clock, so, you know, maybe, you know, if they wind the clock, are they going to, well, they got the play clock running down, but they're not going to start the game clock until snap of the ball.
And they do the direct snap.
And
he will be stopped just shy again. The
so 2nd and goal.
Line judge right there, so now 3rd and goal. And they're going to get quick back to the line of scrimmage.
Oh, he's not running it right into the teeth of that defense, I can tell you that.
And Mayer, and the snap, it is fumbled.
He might throw
He
it.
still might get to the outside.
He's got speed. That's a touchdown.
And we'll see what the official is, and he will get into the end zone. Even though the ball skipping through the end zone, it will be 6 points for Specially Fit. And it'll give IMG about 30 seconds after the ensuing kickoff.
So after 64 points, 65 points.
Specially Fit finally has an answer.
Absolutely. And that's just a hustle play. You know, that's a hustle play.
Again, especially after the fumbled snap on the direct snap.
Well, I mean, I'm sure everybody was expecting him to come in the middle. So your linebacker, even the snap itself probably froze the linebackers, and your ends are crashing down inside, and everybody's pinching and so on and so forth. So he still was able to make the corner. Fortunately, you know, the way that snap went, it went straight back and not necessarily, you know, to the right or to the left. It would have been. Now, Ken, you can't challenge this at the high school level, so it's going to stay called on the field.
But it looks like from that angle, it looks like his knee might have been down before the ball broke the plane, and I think that's what they're trying to show the referees.
Yeah, but can't challenge it.
Nope.
No challenge.
And there was a delay of game, so they will enforce that on the kickoff after the point after. Actually, they're going to enforce it on the try. So Vargas on for his first point after. And another delay of game. And again, I don't think Specially Fit cares too much to.
He's waved it off.
Say they don't want to burn a timeout on a point after. They still have one remaining. But you can expect Nolan Downs and the offense for IMG to come back out
33 seconds.
And air it out. Snap is back. The hold is down. The kick is up. And it is good. So with 33 seconds remaining in the half, IMG 23, Specially Fit 7. We'll be right back with the conclusion of the first half. You're watching IMG Academy Football.
kick it off.
Welcome back to Bradenton. 33 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Specially Fit getting their first points of the game and of their last two meetings, as, again, this was the championship game in 2023. That was Specially Fit's first year. And almost recovering the onside, IMG is going to fall on it and have about 78 yards to try to extend their lead back to 23 and 31 seconds to go.
Well, we talked about IMG's offense being aggressive right here, maybe getting the ball, but that could have spelled disaster. I mean, especially Fit, great job. I don't know why the receiver on the other side, the back, didn't wave a fair catch, because that could have been disastrous for IMG. You don't want Specially Fit going in with, with another score potentially, and with some momentum. Technically, they do have some momentum right now, so we'll have to see what their defense does here, and how does IMG call these last 31 seconds of the first half.
1st and 10, 3 receivers left, 1 to the right. Downs takes the snap, and the whistle will blow. We'll see who the penalty is on. And it is against Specially Fit. And it was an illegal substitution.
So that's their 7th penalty so far on the night.
Here's the ball up to the 27-yard line. Still first down.
So 1st and 5.
Looks like it's a kneel down. Get a flag?
Again, heard the whistles. I think they might let Nolan air it out once, because normally they would be walking off. And I think they might just take a timeout. We'll see.
Well, the time stopped. Game clock. Now the referee is rolling the clock again. So
see if maybe they want to take one shot at the end zone before half. And now all of a sudden there's 31 seconds back on the clock.
Now they're rolling. So I think they're just going to they'll take a knee here as the, Specially Fit. They have a timeout, but I guess there wouldn't be a real need to good time. I said, looks like everyone's has made a gentleman's deal here. Just going to let the clock run down and not take a snap and head into the locker room. It's got to be impressed with IMG so far. Great defense, solid offense when they needed it.
And again, the scoring got started with the Perrin Barreca pick 6, and then again a couple of turnovers for Specially Fit benefiting IMG. We had the safety from the bad snap in the end zone. Then Caden Gould scoring the next 2 for IMG, the 32-yard touchdown reception and the 8-yard touchdown run, and then Specially Fit getting some points on the board for the first time in 3 years against the Ascenders. We go into half 23-7. We'll step aside for about 20 minutes or so and have the conclusion of the SSIA State Championship Final. You're watching IMG Academy Football.
As leaders, 7 days for food, but most importantly, as people. People from all over the world who arrive wide-eyed and graduate wise beyond our years, having made life
Welcome back to IMG Academy Stadium as we are just moments away from the second half kickoff. Alongside my broadcast partner, Norris Thomas. My name is Ryan Sudol, and Norris, pretty dominant first half by the IMG Academy Junior National Ascenders. A little bit of a hiccup at the end with that big splash play from Specially Fit, the 39-yarder that set up their first and only touchdown of the game. But again, IMG had a chance to maybe take 30 seconds and try to go down the field. Instead, they took the knee and just went into halftime.
Well, either way, it broke some momentum. I like the idea. I mean, you almost had the disastrous, kickoff where we could have easily, called for a fair catch and easily, Specially Fit, this score could be 23-14. That's a lot of momentum. So to kind of just, not take that shot downfield with 30, however many seconds left, it could have been intercepted, brought back or whatever, sort of run out the clock and so on. It kind of took a little bit of the steam off, with that. Not seeing a lot from the offense from Specially Fit, but, that last drive is something that you can kind of take a look at because, Mayer, who's been, a stalwart on the defensive side, he's someone that's going to need to garner some attention by the defense because he's going to be able to soften things up, especially depending on the status of Spencer. We hadn't gotten any word if he's going to be able to go for Specially Fit. But I do like IMG's offense. I like the way that they settled down. Got 9 points from the defense. That's always a good start. And then looks like Downs, settled down, made some great throws, made some plays, and a lot of misdirection. And, of course, we talked about this before. They were able to find some things off of, off tackle. Pretty tough sledding right up in the middle for both of those defenses.
And it will be Trell Polk and Dino Delakas back deep for the kickoff. IMG won the toss and deferred to the second half. They will send it deep. Polk will field it at the 5. Finds a seam, and he's still on his feet. He cuts back. He's into Rams territory. Now bouncing outside. He's to the 40, 35, 30. Going all the way. Still on his feet, and then brought down just inside the 5, down to the 3-yard line. And now he might get a unsportsmanlike penalty for the spike. But
that's one heck of a play. I mean, at a certain point within that, with that run back, it just became all about Trell Polk. Trell Polk made some plays and then almost outran the defense. I mean, you're looking at a kid that, here we are. I'm glad to see that he changed hands with the ball before he got tackled. But that was a great individual effort after he got on the other side of the 50 because he still ran through some traffic. Good job of hitting the second gear, and that's kind of what you want on a kick return is just if there's an alley, just hit that seam. Don't try to dance around and so credit to Trell for making a great play and did get some great blocks and no penalties.
And there actually was a penalty, but it was against Specially Fit, an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, or a personal foul rather. So a 92-yard return and then a yard and a half of penalty yardage will put IMG on the brink of getting back to that 23-point lead that they held before Specially Fit scored at the end of the second quarter. Downs takes the snap. Firing straight up the middle. We'll see if the pile moves. And looking for the signal, and it is a touchdown. They fight forward for it. And into the end zone are the Ascenders.
Just off tackle. So there's that momentum that you were talking about. It just didn't come via the offense or big pass play from at the end of the half. So, credit to special teams for IMG and coming out and, really trying to establish itself here in the second half.
And it was Savian Altian Sennett with the 2-yard run, his first touchdown of the night. The second on the ground for the Ascenders. Snap is back, hold is down, the kick is up, and the kick is good. So just 26 seconds into the third quarter, IMG back to a 23-point lead, 30-7. And again, credit to It's not going to show up on the score sheet, but Trell Polk in his 92-yard return absolutely setting up that 2-yard touchdown.
So there's the momentum we talked about before. So really happy for Trell. Good scholar athlete here on campus, does a great job in, in some of the things that I've seen him be a part of. They actually had him as a part of the prep zone interview at halftime with Lincoln Pettigene and on the Jumbotron earlier. So maybe that's a good omen for going into, heading into, he's a senior. So, this will be a memory for him tonight, to have an opportunity to, be on the prep zone and have a good interview, talk about the game and talk about his team. Very humbly talked about his team and their preparations heading into this game.
Again, you talked about Lincoln Pettigene here as a post-grad player and helping out with some of the coaching, and again, a phenomenal long snapper from last year's varsity program and junior national team as well.
Headed to TCU. He's going to walk on, and then got offered to be in their honors broadcast media program at TCU. So,
and this one bouncing around, and
that is a disaster. That's almost equivalent. It's worse than a penalty because it's a self-inflicted wound, and sometimes you hear coaches say, we've got enough opponents on the schedule. You can't, you don't want to beat yourselves in situations like that. And I'm sure this isn't how you want to start. So we'll see, if this offense has a little bit more, still has that same spark that it had on its last possession. But it's not going to be, they've got about 90 yards away from doing that.
And again, it was about a half hour since the IMG defense was last on the field, so a nice break, and expect them to come out guns blazing here on defense. 1st and 10, ball at the specially fit 9-yard line. Angelo takes the snap, and it looks like Isaiah Mayer will be the starting back, so no sign of Tyree Spencer immediately after the halftime break. And again, he was able to chunk out some great yardage plays for specially fit, so if he's unable to play in the second half here, it's going to be a big loss for the Rams. 2nd down, about 8 yards to go for specially fit. Now they take the snap. Angelo fires this one into the flat, has Mayer with some open space, and then wrapped up, he'll pick up about 4 yards on the play to break it down to 3rd and manageable.
Mayer, he remember playing football in the backyard or over at the park. He's that kid. It's one thing, to see Spencer coming at you, but the Mayer kid is more like us. He's one of those, he's the big kid on the block. Nobody wants to tackle him. Spencer's just, he's a beast, but I like Mayer. He's kind of a Swiss Army knife for this program.
Now Angelo takes the snap, pressure coming, firing this one. Trell Polk in coverage. That pass intended for Kelton Conley, and now it's going to be 4th and 5 and almost certainly a punting situation for specially fit.
That was a really, really good job by Trell Polk down here at the boundary corner. Was able to get hands on, within the rules, and he actually rode that receiver out, got his head back around, and they were looking to hit that window shot, and it just was not there. Great job of Trell Polk just kind of rerouting the receiver to get to this 4th and 5. So they're gonna have to punt it away. Back to Trell Polk. Let's see if he's got magic tonight.
And again, they'll have to be careful. And if you're the long snapper, you're definitely in your head after giving up that early safety. And a timeout is going to be called by specially fit, as they don't want to move 5 yards back with a delay of game and risk the potential of another safety. So one play of offense in this second half so far for IMG Academy. The 2-yard touchdown run by Savion Altion Sennett. Again, to go along with the pick 6 from Perrin Bareka. And the 2 touchdowns, one via the air and the arm of Nolan Downs for 32 yards. And then the 8-yard touchdown, the last score for the Ascenders in the first half.
So, do you think they come when we do get the ball back here, depending on how, what Polk looks like, how do you approach the remaining, minutes of this third quarter, fourth quarter offensively? Do you keep the pedal on the gas and take some shots maybe and still just run your offense, or do we go conservative and they're going to have the ball practically in 4-down territory right off the bat, depending if Polk keeps up the way that he's been playing on special teams.
So 4th and 5, ball at the specially fit 14. Snap gets back to the punter, and a nice booming punt sailing into Ascender territory. It takes a bounce straight up in the air and then an IMG bounce. It will be out at the 45-yard line of IMG, so still a very short field for the Ascenders as the offense will come back onto the field.
1st and 10, IMG.
Again, with the 23-point lead, if IMG were able to score on this drive to get them to 30, they would just need one more score to get them to the FHSAA mandated running clock, which would get everybody out on their Thursday night and let them get home and watch
Thursday night football.
I believe it's the Bills and somebody else. Of course, everyone here in the Tampa Bay area is still kind of reeling from the Buccaneer loss to Buffalo last week, but still
optimistic. It's still, a lot of football left to be played. We're in week 12? Well, actually, that's not as much as you think.
And Bills and Texans, and right now Bills up 6-3. So we'll let you get to that after this as Von Arzamanian starts looking upfield before he secures the football and drops it for an incompletion.
That's a long throw to ask of anyone, but I don't know if necessarily, and then there was somebody in his face too, so he didn't really get a chance to step in and finish that throw. But that's a long throw from basically the opposite hash to the outside, almost to the numbers of it.
It's almost 30 yards in the air.
Yeah, on a rope.
They'll send Arzamanian in motion. Now the snap.
There's again.
Sennett able to evade some tackles. He gets into Rams territory down to, looks like they'll spot him at the 50.
Still a pretty good pickup that time. Looks like the linebackers have the specially fit linebackers have kind of figured that out when they go jet motion back across formation. That backside backer, looks like that's number 14, Blake Martin. He stayed home that time, and still pretty good pickup. IMG's offensive line, like I said before, in the first half, they saw something that they could that's worked for them from a running game standpoint.
Downs. Shotgun across the middle and just out of the hands and reach of Max Jewett to bring up a 4th down. So a quick 3 and out, not what the Ascenders wanted. They stick to that as almost it's like their bread and butter play, and these 3rd down and short or 3rd down and long plays. It's been interesting to it's a hot route. It's been there. That time he kind of ran that route a little farther across field, but they've tried to hit that route a couple of times. They caught it. And it looks like we may even have a roughing, or it may have been muffed. We'll see. There are flags down.
And roughing.
Fort Hansen is taken down.
There's a flag back here at the 38.
So the IMG offense getting a break, and the penalties absolutely killing, especially Fit.
This is a running into the kicker penalty against specially.
And also good after the IMG national team's 9-0, and it actually was a muffed punt. They're going to decline it, and we talk about the 9-0 IMG Academy national team ranked in the top 3, depending on where you look. There on the left, you see Kenai Pepe and Brett Collegier.
Both headed at USC.
Yes, they are. Two of the top linemen in the nation.
And you talk about the IMG brotherhood, and how much more can you say about the brotherhood now heading over to USC, where they'll be line mates, and then also they've got a running back that's also committed to USC.
And now send it straight up the middle and into the end zone. Touchdown, Ascenders.
Ascenders playing fundamental football, just a hat on the hat. Let's just drive forward.
So there was a roughing the punter call. However, the punt got off, and it was touched by specially fit. IMG was able to recover it inside the 5, and another 3-yard touchdown on back-to-back carries from Savion Alti and Sennett.
So, when you really look at this, from a turnover standpoint, but it's the untimely plays. Never mind penalties. It's untimely plays that, quickly that IMG is just kind of taking advantage of, and that's putting specially fit behind the 8 ball tonight.
30-point advantage for the Ascenders, 37-7. They lead in the SSIA State Championship Final. Reminder, located next to campus, the Legacy Hotel at IMG Academy is a contemporary boutique hotel with countless amenities and the Icon Eatery and Bar available for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Enjoy ultimate convenience and proximity to campus as well as local area attractions and top-rated beaches. Visit imglegacyhotel.com to reserve your stay today. Also, feel free to join the conversation. Follow us on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and X, formerly known as Twitter. Follow along at IMG Academy and at IMGA Football. Again, we are putting a bow on the season tonight, but again, looking forward, we will be back in football season in just about 6 months, probably with our spring game and spring practices. But also keep an eye, IMG Academy basketball. Your girls basketball team defending Chipotle National Championships, and then the boys national team also going to be making some waves. They started their home schedule out with a win over, I believe, Central Point Christian just the other night.
Very impressive win once they settled in and made a lot of big shots down the stretch. And
turning on the Jets to the near side. One man to beat. Hansen's got to force him out. Slows him down just enough. And able to pursue from behind Odysseus Brown. Does not look like there are any flags on the play. There is one sitting at the 35.
But there's a flag back on the 13-yard line. So not sure if, yeah. I mean, he really made that corner really easy.
And Talon Copeland, it looks like that
very
flag
impressive,
back at the 17.
Very impressive speed, though, either way.
But part of the reason he was able to get that 81-yard return is because there was a hold back at the 17. So, again, Talon Copeland, we saw the Jets. But, again, he's just a junior, so coming back possibly next year to maybe take some revenge on the Ascenders.
Yeah, third time. Is this the third time? Next year would be the third time. It would be a charm.
So it will be 1st and 10, but a much longer field that, again, is just a backbreaker, especially if, you see this 81-yard touchdown or kick return, Norris, and then all of a sudden you're back on your own, inside your own 10-yard line. It's just got to be disheartening no matter what side of the football you're on.
Yeah, and, like I said before, it's the untimely, all penalties are bad, but when they're starting to negate big plays, and even on the muff punt, like he could have just let that go through the end zone. So that's still untimely. You still would have had the roughing, the roughing penalty that would have been called, and that would have changed. That would have been different because we'd still have the football.
Now Mayer bouncing out to the outside. Dragged down, and it looks like it was Alex Perry with the tackle.
It's kind of a student body right. No trickery right here. I think, if they're going to run it, it's going to be with Mayer, and he's going to be the bell cow. Still no sign of Tyree Spencer, who had a lot of carries. We'll have to check and see on defense. I didn't even see him out there defensively in that last scrum down by the goal line.
Caden Brewer with the tackle on that last stop of Mayer, keeping him to 1 yard. IMG looking to maybe bring a little pressure here on Angelo. Sends Mayer in motion. Angelo steps up, and down he goes. Right at the line of scrimmage, he's brought down for the sack. And a 3rd and long coming for Specially Fit.
And, you know, he had someone streaking right down, basically right down the middle of the field and just didn't pull the trigger. He stepped up in the pocket, still had some time. He was really not decisive on if he was going to run it, but he had somebody streaking right down the middle out of that middle slide. It looks like that was Taylon Copeland. No, yeah, the number 3. He was right there. He catches the ball in space, and we already know what he can do.
Now Angelo takes the snap. Pressure coming. He steps up, firing deep down the field, and has Taylon Copeland, and is brought down out of bounds. And a huge play on 3rd and 9 for Specially Fit and the Rams, and it will keep the drive alive for the visitors.
I might need to become a coach. So he misses him down the middle and comes right back to him. You know, they're really going to need to put a, make sure they see where number 3 is, because he's special.
Now the no huddle, Specially Fit seeing something in the IMG defense. And now the first carry for a different running back for Specially Fit. This is Jordan Koymit-Camry. And nice little scat back. Obviously not the same size as Mayer or Spencer, but still able to get a nice chunk of yards and the first down for the Rams.
I have 2 words for you. Those are called fresh legs at the running back spot. And we've got an ascender down right now. But, you know, great play for them. You know, went off tackle. I think both of these offensive coordinators have figured out, you know, you're not getting anything running, you know, between the guard and the center, unless you really have to scheme for that. No one's giving up those big plays in the middle. So that was another play that was off tackle, and, you know, like I said, you know, some fresh legs, a different look, a different twist with running back that's hungry. Ran hard, runs really hard.
Well, we've got some time. We'll take a moment to recognize all our other proud sponsors: Airweave, Dunlop, Forever Lawn, Gatorade, the Gatorade Sports Science Institute, Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital, Quick Goal, Merrill Lynch, Michael Saunders & Company, Musco, NWM, Select Soccer, Therabody, Under Armour, and Uniball. Thank you for your continued support of all IMG Academy athletic programs. In just the, I believe, 13th year of the football program, our 11th year broadcasting Ascender football, and it's been an absolute pleasure now having the opportunity as the Ascenders look. They will have their 3rd straight state championship here in the SSIA for some of the freelance programs that don't get to participate in the FHSAA playoffs. As Koymit-Camry listed on the roster as a safety and a cornerback.
But this is a guy just going out and just playing football.
Now the low snap. And he will run right side, and another first down. And
again, right off tackle. Right off tackle.
IMG right now not with an answer for Specially Fit, as they continue to march down the field with about 6 minutes remaining. Straight up the middle again, inside the 5, down to the 3-yard line. And Specially Fit wants to do everything they can to avoid that running clock and still have an opportunity to get the ball back and fight for their lives and try to get back into this game.
And I'm sure Ken Johnson and his staff, you know, it's still a state championship game, and there's still something to play for, and you want to end the season on the high note. They've got pretty much a young roster, so a lot of these kids you're going to see back next year. Tyree Spencer is a 27.
And they are going to stop him just shy of the goal line, 3rd down. So IMG still, you have to imagine that Specially Fit is not going to settle for 3 at any point. Although it would bring it to a 4-score game. But they absolutely need 6 on this drive.
Looks like Tyree Spencer's back. Yeah, actually, they're going to just directly snap it right to him.
And it goes through his legs, and that is why you don't do that. And it is a huge stop from the Ascenders, and knocking on the goal line. The bad snap gets through the legs of Spencer and puts Specially Fit in quite the spot, Norris.
It's bad, and bad. And he almost, trying to still give it. Looks like he was trying to give it back to Taylor Copeland. And that could have even been more of a disaster. So bad snap. And I don't know if he necessarily called for the snap.
Legal formation and a false start were declined by IMG. Those 2 penalties were on Specially Fit.
So Nasir Taylor
and an illegal formation and a bad snap. So false start. So there you go.
And they were both declined, so the play is going to stand. So 4th and goal from the 14-yard line. And again, that is not a guarantee. 3rd and goal or 4th and goal from the 2 or 3, Norris, you would kind of expect that to be a given. Mm-hmm. But from 14 yards out, Specially Fit now just having their backs absolutely broken on that last bad snap.
Well, they definitely have to throw the ball into the end zone here. I mean, running it down here isn't going to do it. I'm sure IMG is going to have their ears pinned back, and somebody's going to have to make a play. I bet. Watch for Caden Brewer, number 3. He's in that slot, walked up. Look for him to make a play here. So they're selling out. They're coming.
Angelo making some adjustments at the line.
Yep, there he is.
Now the snap. Angelo going to the air, into the end zone, and there is going to be pass interference.
Yeah, it was there all the way.
The end zone is incomplete. There is a flag that came in.
He ran a really good route. Really, really good route. And so, it's tough, at the high school level. I mean, there's pro guys that struggle in man-to-man. So when you're asking a high school kid, especially nowadays with, the 7-on-7 tournaments that's going on and so on, where a lot of kids are, becoming well-versed in how to run and how to position, routes and spacing and so on. It's tough. It's tough for a pro. Imagine high school kid, kind of being put in a spot where this kid is trying to turn him around.
And unlike the pros, it is not an automatic first down. They will get half the distance to the goal line, so this will bring them to the 8. So 4th and goal from the 8, a little bit more manageable for the Rams, but again, we'll see what they go to in the well right here. Angelo awaits the snap. Takes it, looking to that corner route, and Trell Polk with the interception in the end zone. One-handed, are you kidding me?
Well, he tipped it up one hand and then came down with it inbounds. What a play. You can't ask. Oh, my. What a great play. Got up there, got his head around number 1, made the play with his right hand, and then still had the wherewithal where the ball fell inbounds. That is a D1 play. That is a big-time play, a big-time championship play, and that's what you want in a championship. You want your defense to close the door, and that's closing the door on Specially Fit Academy right there. That is huge. That is a momentum swinger, and hopefully the offense can kind of, go ahead and take advantage of that. But Trell Polk has had a game tonight.
92-yard return. He's got the interception right there, and just, again, absolutely breaking the backs of Specially Fit, who are on the verge of getting a touchdown. Had 2 opportunities on 4th down, and a 3rd and goal from the 2, and Trell Polk just absolutely shattering the hopes of Specially Fit. Downs back in at quarterback. IMG looking to put this one away for good. Firing to the sideline, and Jaden Montgomery comes down with it. Picks up about 8.
Yeah, not a lot there. Just, basically a nice stop route. Threw that in rhythm and got that ball out, and easy pitch and catch right there. Just kind of take what the defense gives you. Try not to use a lot of cliches.
2nd and 4 for the Ascenders. They'll give them 6 yards officially on the play. 2 receivers to the left. Now the snap. Looked like play action. It's going to be Caden Gould. They do the hand straight up the middle, but stopped at the line of scrimmage. So we're now at 3.5 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. And 3rd and 5 coming up for the Ascenders.
I think we probably see, well, we got to see Tyree Spencer on that last offensive series where the ball snapped through his knee. So, might want to utilize him on defense in that front to shore things up. I mean, there's still, like you just said, 3 minutes left. There's still some time here for their defense. Let's see what they can get a stop.
Again, the last time the IMG punting unit came out, it was muffed and it set up that last Senate touchdown. Downs takes the snap. Pressure coming off that left edge, and he is going to be sacked in the backfield.
Yeah.
And that will bring up a punting situation, so a quick 3 and out for the Ascenders, and 4th and 13, and Ford Hansen will come back on. And I know he doesn't want to get hit, but he would probably hope for another roughing right here.
Well, it's smart. They're still playing football. They're still playing football, and especially fit defense coordinator. He's still dialing up pressure, and other than the deep ball early on to Senate.
Now Hansen,
smartly,
great punt, and this one is going to continue to take IMG bounces down to the 34-yard line of specially fit. So a beautifully punted ball by Ford Hansen. Again, he's been perfect on point afters, has not been asked to come out to kick a field goal tonight.
And a very smart play by Copeland, to not try to field that. I mean, maybe he could have. I mean, it wasn't disastrous from a field position standpoint, but.
So it'll be 1st and 10. Specially fit will get another chance. Yeah, and IMG had a chance to, again, enact that FHSAA mandated running clock at a 35-point lead. It will stay at 30 with 37-7 the score here late in the 3rd quarter. 1st and 10, Angelo.
He's settled down a little bit more. I mean, granted, their offense, hasn't had many opportunities yet in this in the second half, and they're still leaning heavy on the run. I like, number 21 in there, Camry. He's been a nice breath of fresh air for the offense.
Trips left for the Rams. They will hand straight off to the 3rd running back of the night for specially fit in Jordan Koyemit Camry. Again, we mentioned listed as a safety and a cornerback, and they're going to stick with the no huddle. 2nd and 1, he chunks out 9 yards. Back in shotgun, no huddle, going to try to keep this IMG defense on their toes, and they run a little screen pass. This one gets out to Nasir Taylor, who will be stopped in the backfield, and a tackle for loss by a gang of Ascenders.
Alex Perry did a great job from his corner position. And, you get into this point of the game where, you want to just be playing solid defense. Just, fundamentals, keep everything in front of you. They're doing a great job. We're just sitting in a cover, too. So those types of plays, if you're just going to throw those bubble screens, that's playing right into the hands of the defense. And you got to kind of read that.
And Badir Homa making some adjustments in that defensive secondary for the Ascenders. Now they're going to split out Camry. Angelo's going to look for the deep ball. Polk in coverage, and this one just off the fingertips of Ishoy Ewers. And a 4th down for specially fit.
Polk is having a night. He's having a night. That, ran down the sideline, basically pressed the receiver, and that actually was a pretty good ball that Angelo threw right there. But Polk in great position, squeezed the receiver to the sideline, and it looked like a back shoulder throw is what it was. But that's the only thing that it could be.
4th and 4, and they're going to keep the offense on the field. IMG has to be wary of the hard count, and they're going to go for it. Firing quickly into the flat end. It is incomplete. In coverage was Javier Houston de la Cruz.
Copeland was wide open again down the middle. And, I'm sure they're just trying to get the 1st down. But, there's no one on the field that's as fast as Copeland. Even, we saw Trell Polk with the wheels on the on that kick return. But I mean, I think Copeland's he's got a couple of steps even on Polk.
IMG.
I just would find a way to get him the ball.
IMG has done a great job protecting the football right now. Nolan Downs, I believe, 11 of 14 on the night. One of those incompletions, actually the interception early in the game, but again, very few missteps since. And the IMG offense has been clicking. Now they have a short field, 40 yards, to almost certainly cement their third straight SSIA state championship. The handoff, Sennett, straight up the middle, sheds a tackle. He's up to the 30 and then brought down inside the 30 to the 28. I'll actually give him the 29-yard line, good enough for a first down.
And that, that's just a great job. It was 29 seconds. I think, the IMG offensive line is starting to wear down, this specially fit front. Nothing special there. Hat on the hat and, able to kind of just, again, work off tackle. No one's getting, like I said before, no one's getting anything right in the teeth of it. But this looks like, master class right now of, fatigue and just, some pure grit by the offensive line for IMG Academy.
Last play of the third quarter. Downs fires this one. It is tipped up and incomplete. That will be the end of the third. We will go to the fourth, and the Ascenders with a 30-point lead here in the SSIA State Championship. It's 37-7, IMG over Specially Fit, and you're watching IMG Academy football.
This brings us to the end of the third quarter. Under Armour is proud to outfit IMG Academy in the world's most innovative uniform and training gear. Visit UnderArmour.com today to see Under Armour's full range of performance apparel.
Welcome back. Beginning of the fourth quarter. 2nd and 10 for the Ascenders. Downs, play action. Rolling out to his right. He's tripped up and brought down from the helmet, and a big loss for the Ascenders. It'll be about 3rd and 19 after the 9-yard loss.
I said this before, they're still bringing pressure. They're not giving up, especially Fit in that time. Great job by outside linebacker Luis Muniz. Actually, he's DN, and he's young. He's a class of 28, just like, so he's got a couple of more years in the program, too. So this Specially Fit team, if you look going down this roster, there's very, very few seniors. A lot, and some of these impact players that we've seen, they're juniors. So we're going to, you could potentially see this same group and then some next year.
Downs takes the snap. He's going to go back to the air. Pressure coming. Firing this one, and just off the fingertips of his intended receiver, Jaden Montgomery.
And I've really asked him to make some pretty long throws. That bubble screen from before was from the other hash. That ball was a square out about 12 yards upfield, but, it's still about almost a 30-yard throw.
Again, this is that kind of in-between distance for IMG. Too far for a field goal, a little too close maybe to punt it. So we'll see. It looks like the offense is currently huddled up around the OC, Mike Peters. Actually, that is one of the other assistant coaches. I believe Mike is up in the booth up on the other press box over here at IMG Academy Stadium. Again, just the 11th year of this stadium. The first year, of course, Michigan quarterback Shea Patterson was the quarterback the first year we started doing the IMG Academy football broadcast that have seen upwards of 20 players put into the NFL in just the last 11 seasons.
So, it's safe to say that, that the process works, and, your hat has to go off to, Don Zalati and Kyle Bray and, our athletic director, Brian Nash, and, across the board, actually for all of our sports, but particularly, finding the right fit, because, that's a tough thing when you've got some kids that might be here for just a semester and then to still, produce and get them to gel as a team.
And they will bring out the punting unit. Hansen with his heels back at the IMG 45-yard line. And just a nice little corkscrewing punt. It'll take a bounce at the 20, and it will be downed.
23-yard line. Specially fit will have it there. First and 10.
So if I'm, right now, if I'm specially fit, what worked? What has really worked? Well, what really works is getting the ball at number 3 in the air. And, when Angelo has had time to set his feet and find him, but you've got to be intentional in doing so, because we don't have an answer for him. But if they're not dialing it up to where, making him a feature, kind of like, the way that they used Spencer early on, I think let's try to use as much clock, but now you get yourself, or you've only scored 7 points, and your best threat is number 3.
And Jordan Koyamit-Camry back in at running back. Not sure what happened with Isaiah Mayer, who was also a pretty big playmaker for specially fit. Angelo in at quarterback.
I see.
Now the snap. Firing this one across the middle, and just on cue, Norris, they give it to Talon Copeland, and a nice patch of yards for specially fit.
I'm checking this soundboard here to make sure that I don't have like a SFA button that their offensive coordinator, they might be listening to the broadcast. I don't know.
2nd and 3, 2 receivers to each side. They'll go back to the air. Angelo steps up. He's going to keep it himself. Takes a nasty hit, but he's going to get enough of.
Was that Caden Brewer?
It was Caden Brewer.
Caden Brewer coming up and laying a hat. I think he kind of hit one of his own linemen. It kind of had him down below. That's the first time we've actually seen, Angelo, pull down and be aggressive with the run.
So 1st and 10, ball at the specially fit 35. There's the snap. Angelo going to keep it himself again. They haven't had to spy him at all. And another hat laid by Javier Houston de la Cruz. This late in the game, if Angelo is your only guy that can throw the ball downfield.
Yeah, Javier de la Cruz came up and just put a lick on him. And that, he's de la Cruz. He's a 27. So all of the, these kids, a lot of these kids on the field will be back. Unfortunately, Angelo, he's a 26, so this is it. Oh, somebody just went down. I don't know if he was trying to run onto the field or off, but maybe they, can't say that they told him to go down, but he just kind of went down right as he was getting to the sideline. It's got to be a cramp.
Yeah, and it looks like that is in fact what it is.
And it's not humid out. You've run back and forth across the field a couple of times. Are you cramping or are you hydrated?
And it was quickly there Alex Perry, who's had a great day in the secondary for the Ascenders there, quickly to, again, stretch him out. I believe that was Perrin Bareka limping off the field, and again, he scored the first touchdown for the Ascenders on that 3-yard pick six. 2nd and 4 for specially fit. 9 minutes to go. Now the snap. Angelo going to go back to the air. Fires it, And incomplete.
Just never set his feet.
That one a little low, intended for Nasir Taylor.
Well, for the first time in a while, they've not been like behind the stick so much on this third down. So this is something that's manageable. We'll see how, what that play call is going to be. But I'm going for number 3 down the seam.
Koya McCamery goes in motion. Angelo takes the snap, and they fire this one looking for the deep ball. And too long. It was looking for Nasir Taylor down that far sideline and incomplete in a 4th and 4. And at this point in the game, you almost have to go for it.
You got to lead off. Receiver had, he had a step. Definitely had a step.
Fourth and 4, they'll leave Angelo and the Rams offense on the field.
And, for the most part, he's had somebody sitting in his lap all night. So, he's probably a little bit more rushed. I really like the way he looked in the pregame.
Angelo firing across the middle, and it's going to be incomplete, intended for Talon Copeland, and there is a flag late. And didn't look like there was contact on the
but you got
attempt.
The flag came from the back judge right away, but then also the later flag from over on the specially fit sideline. So I'm sure there was some lobbying to get that, but he did get pulled a little bit.
And it was pass interference.
Pass interference, yeah.
Penalty against IMG.
Again, only IMG's, I believe, 3rd penalty, but all their penalties been 2 pass interferences for 15 yards, and I believe the first was a hold for 10.
Hold on, yeah.
So 1st and 10, they're in Ascender territory, low snap. They hand it off to Koya McCamery, who's got some space up the middle and gets the first down and specially fit.
Just caught a cramp.
Perrin Barreca returning the favor there, starting to stretch out the cramp. But again, the big plays that number 21 for specially fit has been making, it'd be a huge loss to have that playmaker, not be at 100% running down the field, as he'll probably have to take a play or 2 off after this cramp.
Well, I saw Spencer kind of hopping around. I think he may be done for the night. But like you said, haven't seen anything. Hadn't seen Mayer again back in the ball game. So, it's really unfortunate. But here just to put a smile on your face, Spencer's at 27. So I'll be back.
I'm sure they will have a game plan for him if we meet in the SSIA playoffs next year, whether it be in the semifinals or a 4th straight championship game for IMG if this result holds, as we expect it will with 8:49 remaining. And Koya McCamery.
Just counting seniors here. 13 seniors on that roster over there. So majority of that roster is coming back.
Yeah, in a program that is only in their 3rd year.
And you see or you hear rumors and so on of different, places, talking about becoming an academy or IMG like, and it takes time to get to that, but you can't just build it around one sport or just one team.
And the handoff going up the middle and a huge hit. I believe that was Badir Homa.
That was.
Laying the wood to number 26. We do not have him on our roster for specially fit, but an absolute bounce off.
He's not on our roster, but he's on the turf. So might want to.
2nd and 8 for specially fit. Angelo
saw him
trying to evade, and down he goes. There's Caden Brewer again.
Called his number. He and defensively tonight, he and Latrell Polk have had a night.
Take a look there, and you see Brewer again. He had that edge. Dustin Petrus and also Brady Golden.
Caden Brewer is roughly, pushing 6'2", maybe 6'2.5", and he's, well over 200 pounds. You've got to see him. You've got to count for him, at least see where he is, especially when he's made those types of plays all night.
3rd down and 19 for the Rams. Angelo drops. The pressure comes again. He's going to keep it himself, and now looking downfield, nowhere to go, and just has to throw it out. One of the assistant coaches getting the interception, and
that play happened because, good back-end play. Polk boundary corner over there did a good job of jamming and releasing, and then just kind of played underneath, and you still had a safety over the top. So that's why
I believe this.
Angelo was, basically just threw that out of bounds. Whoever was on that side, it was basically a single receiver. They weren't twins into the boundary at all. So this really is going to put them behind the sticks.
And I believe that might have been an ineligible man downfield.
It was 4th down.
4th and long. Now the snap. Angelo's got to go deep. Firing this one for all he's worth, and it is incomplete.
Right in his hand.
The second one for Elijah Ham, and he's going to wish he had that one back.
And
but if you look at it, though, Norris, that's one of those plays that in retrospect you're mad it's not on the stat sheet, but there's no guarantee you were going to return it 30 yards either. So it actually ends up being a net positive for IMG. It was the turnover on downs. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Ascender offense, a little over 7 minutes remaining.
You can't, I don't know about the stigma. I was a defensive back. And to my defense,
that was all you could do, Norris.
Well, listen, my defensive back coach, Barry Shockmel at the University of Wisconsin Lacrosse, defended me greatly when he says every last one of my interceptions was always caught in my hand. So we're not going to sit here and say, take guys that can't catch and make them DBs. All of mine were in the hand. So that he just took his eye off of it. That's the second one he could have had, though.
And it is important to note Elijah Ham last year did play some wide receiver as well and had some nice long touchdowns. So Nolan Downs complete again. Gets this one for about 4 yards. We'll see where they put the official spot down. And that gets to Ty Plummer. And they're only going to give him 2 yards on the play.
It will be very interesting, I mentioned this before, to see, next year this time, or even, spring to see how much stronger, what Downs is going to look like in the spring. I mean, he has some good throws, but he's basically using all of his might and strength to get the ball off. He's accurate.
And now the handoff straight up the middle, and that is a big boy in the middle.
That's tough sledding. You can't do that.
Number 70 not listed on our roster for specially fit, and leave no gain for Sennett on that carry.
Those guys, they're nimble. They have nimble feet in that middle for specially fit. I mean, you look at them, they're massive from even from up here from our vantage point. Look at number 75, Maurice MacArthur. Now he's a senior, so he should look the way he looks. But that other 75, geez.
Send a man in motion. It is Sennett. Downs fires across the middle, and it's the first down. Ty Plummer cut down at the knees, but a first down and into Rams territory.
That time, really good job. He was able to look off. He looked off the linebacker because you have to respect, the motion and having Sennett over there in the flat. So he looked at Sennett, and it held that linebacker. That linebacker had to respect that look, and that gave that tight end, gave the tight end Plummer just enough space so he could come back to that. And great play. Unfortunately, that's Plummer that was down for a second.
Fans, you can wear what the players wear. Go to www.shopimg.com, your official IMG Academy online retailer. And a great selection of Under Armour polos, sweats, hoodies,
like you normally do.
Everything to show you support
Ceremony
IMG
that
Academy.
feels over with, then you can meander onto the field.
Again, I think now we're nearing 13 sports on campus, maybe 14.
Yep, they just started putting the little flags out at the discus and shot put. So they're marking off. I saw Mike Milliron and Brent Richards out today where they're going to have the new swimming pool. So it's it's amazing around here when they make an announcement about something. It's already like they'll make an announcement and you're thinking, oh yeah, in 6 months they're going to start, and it's like 3 days later and you start seeing the trucks.
Downs drops, has the pass and the first completion of the night for Asahi Kawahara. And that'll be good enough for a first down.
There's another senior on that IMG roster. Looks like they're trying to get some kids in.
Kawahara has also had some nice reps with the state team. Again, with this junior national, also has some players available from the state program as well. Now the snap, Downs. Got away from him. This one.
Oh.
His arm got hit as he threw it forward, but still almost completed it to Jewett. As that did not have the ball flight that you would expect.
No, not at all, and still almost made a great play. And, part of that making a great play, he ran a great route. He came upfield, he didn't run. I mean, if he runs that any other way without, really coming back straight down the line, he doesn't have a chance to make that play. So, hats off to Demery Lashy that's out there that's coaching up the wide receivers and getting him to play well. Even late in the ball game like that, you want to still play with poise and want to play with discipline and still execute.
And they'll hand to Sennett. He will get right back to the line of scrimmage to bring up a third down.
Sennett is brought down
Just that
by Munoz.
Jet motion again, and then you go on backside counter.
It is third down.
Again, a little bit of a high snap. He kind of had to jump to get it, which does delay, again, Sennett getting off into that first gear. IMG take a timeout. We will take it with him. 4:39 remaining in the game. IMG has a 30-point lead here in the SSIA State Championship. It's 37-7. The Ascenders lead the Rams of Specially Fit Academy. You are watching IMG Academy football.
There is a timeout on the field.
Welcome back. Final few minutes here from IMG Academy Stadium. The Ascenders leading 37-7. Nolan Downs and now Phil Scheibel in at running back. And this one gets tipped. It was intended for Jaden Montgomery. It was a little behind him.
Maurice MacArthur got his big pop up there.
Incomplete, intended for
We don't
Jaden
have a
Montgomery.
real reading on where some of these kids are going, but it looks like, MacArthur definitely, could play somewhere at the next level next year. I like Mayer the same. He's a 26. He's a linebacker, running back. He was very serviceable for especially fit academy tonight. So, this is one of those things too. You have to keep in mind some of these guys out here, and I thought about this for the couple of years that I was a varsity player in high school, and the 4 years you play in college. Coach comes in and says, for some of you seniors, this will be the last time that you ever put on a football uniform, and that's the case. Not just, you hate that you lose, But even if you win, this might be the very last time that you ever
put on pads.
Put on pads, and you know, and I've shared that at times with when I've coached back, you know, some years ago. But even, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, you're not thinking about it like that, but you know, it's a bittersweet night. So your hats have to go off to the, you know, to the seniors that are out there getting their last taste. And you know, even for a kid that's at IMG, there's, you know, just because you're here doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to go off and play in college.
Although for IMG Academy football over the last 10 years, about 150 Division I football players alone. And again, that's not just from the national team. That is from all IMG
levels.
Academy football programs.
So the system works. The process works.
4th and 10, they're going to keep the offense on the field. Devin Andrews out wide to the right. Dustin Petrus at tight end in the slot on the near side. Now the snap. Screen to Scheibel. It's going to go off his hands. And incomplete, so a turnover on downs, and probably, depending on how this goes, the last drive that we will see from Specially Fit.
Well, hats off again. I mentioned this before. You know, they've kept the pressure on. You know, offensively, you know, we've made plays when we've needed to make them, and we've been very fortunate off of, you know, some, you know, the muff punt, made some big plays where we've needed to make them, but they're still fighting out there. Especially Fit, the defense has done a great job of, you know, getting some 3 and outs, and you know, it's just unfortunate the offense hasn't been able to oblige them. And you know, I don't think they've crossed the 50 here in the second half, maybe once.
And it is Koymit Camry getting the carry again. He has been a great back. Don't know why it took us so long to see him on the field for the first time, as Tyree Spencer was the load back in the first half along with Isaiah Mayer. And now the snap.
I would imagine you'll see him again next year. He and Spencer, they're both 27. So
incomplete pass from John Angelo. They'll bring up a 3rd and 6. Again, if IMG does get the ball back, they can just keep the ball on the ground and probably run the clock out with a couple of first downs. Now the snap. Angelo stepping up, leaning forward, and he is sacked. Tripped up in on the pressure, Noah Cassimi.
that's a pretty, you know, it was slow developing for, you know, for the drop that he took. He may have needed to just go ahead and let that ball go at the top of his drop. Because once he stepped up, those receivers he would have really need to make a great throw. And you had 2 streaking down the sidelines, but just over the middle, and that person was covered. So I think, you know, this is a timing thing. You've had guys in your face. Here comes Caden Brewer.
And Koymit Camry able to evade Caden Brewer's tackle. That is not something we have said a lot tonight, as Caden Brewer has been an absolute monster on defense. And it will be a turnover on downs.
So they didn't even really take a lot of time off the clock. So
3.5 minutes to go. Again, IMG, if they keep it on the ground, can get us out of here as we approach the 10 o'clock hour here in Bradenton, Florida.
And have 1 timeout left. I'm not thinking that. I wouldn't imagine that especially Fit would use that timeout and just kind of be a gentleman moving forward.
And an encroachment.
Worse than a timeout.
This is an encroachment penalty against Specially Fit. Moves the ball down to the 28-yard line, 1st and 5.
So 1st and 5, 3:24 remaining. Now the snap, play action, and the new quarterback in is Baker Giles. He led the IMG Academy State program. Also has a phenomenal arm as well, and they're getting him some reps in here in the state championship game, and he takes off and gets a first down.
Not too much special on that play. Just, he's able to get that in. He just basically read the end crashed down, and he just pulled the ball right at the last second and made a play. That's all you can ask for. And I think he was tackled in bounds, but, it was first down, so clock keeps running. Clock stops.
Now the handoff to Scheibel, who will be stopped in the backfield. And again, one more first down. The Ascenders could still get into the end zone, but with the play clock the way it is, now it's going to take a quick stop. Not sure what the stoppage is for.
Well, clock's still running.
The official had waved. I guess there was a issue with the
equipment.
So subbing in will have to be Spencer McCool. $20 seconds on the game clock, or the play clock. Under 2 minutes on the game clock. Scheibel on the right hip of Baker Giles. And as the breeze picks up a little bit here at IMG, Giles, they're going to let him go to the air, fires this one across the middle. It is caught, and good for a first down.
So clock turns. Is he short? Oh, no, it's not a first down. The clock's still running.
So 1st and 4, gain of 6. Jake Loomis, the tight end. Actually, it might have been number 19.
Right.
Jackson Shodine, listed as a defensive lineman, getting some reps in on the offense in the slot. 60 seconds to go, and IMG looking at their 3rd straight SSIA state championship. Giles takes the snap, steps back, fires up, and almost a dangerous throw. If that could have been corralled by number 32, Jashawn Roseman, that would have been an easy 6 for Specially Fit. Instead, it just goes down as an incompletion.
Down. I'd say just go ahead and kick the field goal. And
they are going to leave the offense on the field. IMG will take what is hopefully their final timeout of the night. We'll take it with them when we get back. 46 seconds remain before IMG are 3-time consecutive state champions. You're watching IMG Academy Football. Fourth and 4 for the Ascenders. 46 seconds to go. A first down, and they could kneel on it. Giles steps to his left, and he is going to be sacked. And a turnover on downs with 39 seconds to go. So, unfortunately, Specially Fit is going to have to go to the air to try to get some more back, but
I'm not so sure, even with so few seconds, game is in hand, you're still trying to make, make some plays. Do you take the points right there and just kick a field goal, or just try to run offense, or maybe choose a different play? A lot of times, some coaches look at, hey, why are you still trying to throw the football this late in the ball game?
Well, and if they did get into the end zone, that would have automatically triggered the running clock.
Yeah.
But you're also, again, up 30 in a state championship game. But, again, we'll see if they try to go to the air 3 times here, or if they put it on the ground and just let the game clock run out. IMG defense, though, with a chance for against a big pressure and a stop in the backfield.
John Angelo's gone the distance tonight.
Angelo is stopped. The ball is loose. And they're going to say it's a safety, the second safety of the game. And
clock still running? Oh, they stopped it.
With 30 seconds, IMG gets 2 more points. And John Angelo, again, it looked like he was trying to throw it forward, and it looks like IMG maybe was able to get the hands to it. The officials did not signal incomplete pass. So not just 1, but 2 safeties tonight. 1 for IMG special teams and 1 for the defense. So all 4 phases of the game getting on the board tonight.
Tallying them up.
And now I imagine after this kickoff, we will just have a victory formation.
Well, safety, they still have to kick it.
So however long this return is, would anticipate possibly seeing Baker Giles come back out onto the field.
Would love to see just a nice squib.
And it looks like Nolan Downs does, in fact, have his helmet on to wrap this game up as he has so earned. Fielded at the 30. Jackson Shode knocked down at the 35. And it will be Nolan Downs. 21 seconds. This should be the last play of the game.
Ewers and Martin in on the stop for specially fit. First down for IMG.
And players getting lined up as they can smell it's that
Real
time
victory.
of year, Norris. It is ring season here at IMG
season.
Academy.
Any championship, this level, college, professional, little league, any of it, it's special. These are special memories. Should never be taken for granted that you just assume. And you still got to go out and play the game. And tonight was a great example of championship football, especially for the Cinders. Start out with the defense, coming away with, the pick six, then coming away with the safety, so that, it kind of solidified. That gave the offense some time, because we talked about this before. Both offenses came out a little shaky, weren't really moving the ball, but having that little bit of breathing room, and then, having a chance to really see how Nolan Downs, he grew up tonight in a championship setting. So be interesting to watch his development, when we get back to to spring ball and the spring game and see where he is, with, getting in the weight room, working on, getting back to the fundamentals, and, either Coach Blake or, the coaches that are around.
And as the time winds down on not just this game, but also the IMG Academy football season, it is final here in Bradenton. The Junior National Ascenders, for the third straight year, are SSIA state champions. They knock off Specially Fit Academy 39-7. Again, every phase of the game getting on the board. 2 safeties, one from special teams, one from defense. You had the pick 6 from Perrin Barreca. You had Caden Gould with 2 touchdowns, and you also had Savian Alti and Sennett with the 2 short rushing touchdowns. 39-7 the final. Norris, any final thoughts on tonight's game?
Like I said before, championship football, a stout defense. You only gave up 7 points. So, that piece of it. And your offense, basically managed and started making the plays that they needed to make down the stretch, on the hand, on the backs of quarterback downs. And then I like Sennett. I like the way that they use, the offense. But, hats off to the defense. Trell Polk had a big night. Kind of really set the momentum offensively with the kickoff return, 97 yards, and then making that defensive stop in the corner of end zone, which could have, spelled, I wouldn't say disaster, because at that point it would have just been 14 points. So overall, a championship performance from a championship defense, and a great effort on the offensive side in making timely plays down the stretch. And hats off to Specially Fit, but also to our coaching staff in the program here at IMG Academy. And
that is going to do it for the 2025 football campaign here at IMG Academy. Your IMG Junior National Ascenders are state champions for the 3rd straight year. I want to thank you for spending your Thursday night with us. For everybody here at IMG Academy, and for my broadcast partner, Norris Thomas, my name is Ryan Sudol, saying good night and so long from the Sun Coast.
We still have to do the reward ceremony. just pick it up with your hands. And then they said it's
So we can begin the ceremony.
you were just cut out for some reason.
Especially fit. Can you go to the 20-yard line, please? Your own 20.
This game went back. No, he just went down. No. No, he didn't touch anything. He just did that, I guess. I don't know.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to start by congratulating both teams on a great season and on the tremendous accomplishment of making it to the SSIA football championship game. Both of these teams have worked hard all year to earn their spot here this evening. We also want to thank all the fans for your support throughout the year. Your energy and commitment means so much to these players on both these squads.
Never mind. You can't use it.
Let's recognize this year's SSIA runner-up, Specially Fit Rams. Please give them a round of applause for a great season and a strong championship performance. And now, this year's 2025 SSIA State Champion, IMG Academy Ascenders. Congratulations to the Ascenders on an outstanding season and a well-earned state title. Teams and coaches may have your attention. There is a meal for you underneath the concourse. Mission Barbecue Service has provided that, so whenever you get done, you are welcome to go underneath the concourse and have a meal. For the rest of you, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure having you at the stadium this evening. We wish you a safe and pleasant journey home. Happy Thanksgiving to all.
They just said, have a safe drive home. Does that mean the award ceremonies are over, or are we still waiting for something?